And I don't know of anyone else.
They were asking, like, does he have gambling debt? Does he have, and I'm like, the only person he owes money to is me. Like, there's no one that he's a straight shooter, right? Like, he's not an alcoholic, he's not a gambler, he doesn't have a sex addiction, he doesn't, he doesn't have any, like, weird stuff going on in his life.
No, he's a difficult guy, but he's not
That's what he was saying. He's like, is there anyone that hates him? And I'm like, he's difficult, but he's difficult in, like, an ivory tower kind of way.
He's not liked, but he's not.
He's not liked, but he's not hated.
Certainly not, and he has people who love him.
How do his students feel? Like, is he, like, are law students receptive to him? Like, oh, this is a great...
I think there's some that really like his method, and there are a lot who don't like him at all.
So you say he's more disliked?
He's a very abrasive guy.
Does he challenge you, kind of? Would that be a good...
He's challenging. He loves to argue, so... He's fairly elitist, so like the students...
Very elitist, oh my
students
goodness.
felt like put down by him a lot.
Okay.
And so they'd feel like insecure but again, we're not talking about like hateful and awful, we're talking about like difficult.
Right.
Right. And he has colleagues who really don't like him.
But not enough to...
But this is a different, right, it's a different, right.
They don't like him, they don't want to go to lunch with him. Right.
Yeah, no.
He doesn't make friends easily, but it's not like he makes a ton of time.
And he has very close connections at the temple.
That's what I said. I mean,
said
he's got Jewish community.
He's important in the Jewish community, and he's loved, and he's
and there
a serious academic.
2 Jewish temples in Tallahassee, or just one?
It's kind of complicated.
Hospital, but he didn't make it.
He tried calling Wendi.
I called her multiple times. I called my parents multiple times. Finally, she actually called me at a strange time during the day when I happened to be free, and I picked up the phone, and she said she didn't want to talk about anything because her kids were around.
She seemed surprised he was available.
Yeah, she said she really just wanted to leave a message, and I said, well, you called me, and I asked her point blank, what do you think happened? And her response was, well, Danny had no shortage of enemies. But that's the most we've talked about it. And that's one of 2 conversations we've had since Danny was killed.
Later, Rob would want to talk more with his family about what happened to Dan.
They just didn't want to talk about it.
They kept saying that it doesn't involve them, and that Wendi felt that I was only interested in who would have done this, which seems like a normal reaction when someone you know well is gunned down in their home. I think not being interested in a murder of someone you know well is unusual.
He never did get a straight answer from his family, which shocked him. And as affidavits appeared, suggesting members of his family may have ordered Dan's murder, Rob stopped speaking with them altogether. Tallahassee police believed they had enough evidence to